Hi beautiful people, this channel is all about inspiration, motivation and self-improvement. So do me a big favor and do to yourself a big favor. Click on the right button, subscribe and be a part on something is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't give up this feeling that I get when looking down from the sky.
Guys, I'm Lottie and today the subject is everyone wants to help Africa. Yes, everybody wants to help Africa, but who is everybody? But I'm here, guys, to let you know that Africa doesn't need help. Yes, Africa doesn't need help. Africa needs to be respected for what Africa is and what Africa is. Africa is the mother of the earth. Yes, the mother of the earth. Because, guys, most of the most oldest human fossil in this world was discovered in Africa. And one of the most old of them, she is called Lucy. And Lucy was discovered in Ethiopia in 1974. And she's the most oldest fossil human the world never have. She's 3.8 billion century oldest. So this is Lucy. And I think in general in Europe, in UK and USA, it's really fashionable, guys, to say we need to help Africa. It's super fashionable, guys. Seriously, it's super fashionable to identify Africa with the charity. But Africa equals charity? No, I didn't know. Really, guys, Europe, UK and USA love to associate Africa with help. And I think it's just a way for the European imperialism to convince themselves and convince their own nation that they don't have nothing to reproach. Like nothing to reproach. Shh! They don't have nothing to reproach. Nothing. They really help Africa. They don't have nothing to reproach. Nothing to reproach, nothing. But on trying to help Africa so hardly since the post-colonialism in the 19th and in the 20th century, I just got 4 questions for that. 4 questions, and you will understand better what I'm trying to say. So number 1, guys, is what really come out on trying to help Africa since the end of the post-colonialism in the 19th and in the 20th century? What really come out from all that help? And number 2 is what all that government really does to help Africa. Number 3 is what difference they make. What difference they make since the end of the post-colonialism. So number 4 is, did they really help Africa or they just pretend to maintain Africa on poverty? So guys, after truthfully demystified and understood that 4 questions, I'm just wondering what they really did since they put their feet in Africa. What they really did. What we really did. I think it's just destruction. Yes, guys, it's a physical destruction, a mental destruction, a spiritual destruction, emotional destruction. It's proof and is exactly what they did. So what kind of help they still pretend to do? But they civilize us. We look so much better. We look so much good. We much civilized. We know how to read. We got a black president. We've been to university, we go to doctor, we go to actor and actress. Really? They don't try to save us? Right. Really? So now, what Africa needs? Which kind of help Africa needs? Yes, that is what Africa needs, for real, guys, seriously. All this European government, UK government, and American and Chinese government, all that vampire out to Africa. That is what the new generation of African child want for Mother Africa. No more subvention to build a school. No more subvention to build some road. No more subvention for development. And no more subvention to try to corrupt most of the African government. Seriously, guys, why is so hard? Why is so hard for all that European government to leave and go far from Africa? Why is so hard? What is so hard to understand when the new generation of African people told to all that government since many centuries, since the Thomas Sankara generation, since the Patrick Lumumba generation, that Africa don't need them anymore. Africa don't want them anymore as a guest. Yes, the new generation of African people don't want them anymore as a guest. I'm going to tell you why. Because on the beginning of the African history kingdom, Africa was doing some commerce, Africa was doing some transaction with all that European imperialism, all that European government, but was doing some equal commerce. There was exchanging some products like gold, cotton, and whatever. So it means like all that European imperialism was welcoming on Africa. And when they see how Africa was wealthy, extremely wealthy, and Africa was extremely stronger and organized and powerful. Africa was super organized, guys, on any aspect. Cultural aspect, spiritual aspect, academic aspect. So the fundament of the culture, of the African culture, was extremely stronger and really organized. And also Africa was the most richest kingdom the world never have. So when all that European government sees that Africa was so rich, they start to steal some stuff in Africa. They start to steal some uranium, they start to steal some gold, they start to steal some diamond. And when they see that African people were seeing that, they start to steal some stuff over there. Second, they start to lie to all the king and all the people who was governing Africa. They start to lie to them on saying to them, listen guys, I can see like you got so many prisoners, so what we can do is like, you can sell me that prisoner. I'm going to bring that prisoners in my kingdom, and after that I'm going to take care of them as you guys take care of us. So what does it mean? So people say like African people start to enslave their own people. This is just one version of one history. We all know, we all academically know, we all know on movie, we all know on the book, and blah blah. So this is the only version we know, but the true version of the historic fact is Africa was having some prisoners, saying kind of slave, but when we say slave here in Europe, and when we were saying slave in the oldest Africa, it doesn't it was not the same connotation, guys. Slave on the oldest Africa, it was just meaning like be prisoners, be prisoners. So you prisoners, obviously, of course, you work for free, you don't have any pay, but in the same time, all that African prisoners was treated in the really good way in Africa, was treated as a human, but was having a food, but was having a really nice clothes, and but was having also the authorization to work and do whatever they want outside. So in Europe, when we say slave, the slave connotation in Europe is absolutely stronger, and we know what come out from the slavery here in Europe is all about like rap, the Roman, is all about violence, extremely violent, physical violence and emotional violence. It was all about treating people like a piece of shit, treating people like animal, less than animal. So the connotation of slave in Europe and the connotation is slave in Africa, and it was not even slave, it was like prisoners, was not the same. So we was lying to the African people, saying like, I buy your people, I bring them in Europe, and they're going to be my slave as you guys, like they're going to be my prisoners. So we know the end of the history and blah blah blah. So they, after trying to lie to African people, and when they see that when they was bringing that people in Europe, it was so wealthy, it was super wealthy, because that African people was working really hardly. So what they did is they come back in Africa, but they come back with much like hungriness, with much like hunger, with the gun, with a lot of gun, and they just take all the people in Africa, even the queen and the king ever there, they just take all the people by power, by forcing people, and bring them to Europe and enslave them to Europe. That's why all this new generation of African people are extremely educated, and it's been many centuries. All the people in the world, some of the people in the world start to wake up and realize that on the only history we used to hear something wrong and something going on. So after all that line, after all that historic line and historic deformation, how come Europe, UK and USA and now China pretend to help Africa? How come? So for my point, I think they just try to drown Africa than to help Africa. Yes, they try to drown Africa for many years. I think it's the best service, like all that government can do for Africa is just to get out. I think the door is so open, like the door is so open. We don't want them anymore, seriously. And unfortunately, we know like about the historic fake when some people start to stand up and say the uncomfortable truth to people. We know what's happened. Yeah. I think even if I was not born when the oldest Africa was an empire, was a big kingdom and empire, I think Africa was mostly a paradise, seriously. Africa was a paradise, and also Africa was so much better before the European invasion. Africa and African people was living in symbiosis, was living in harmony with themselves, and was living in harmony with the divine, and was living in harmony with the nature. And they was deeply and strongly connected with the universe. Africa was living in peace, seriously guys. Africa was living in peace, and of course that kingdom was not a total paradise. Of course, between us sometimes it was like some turbulence within like different tribes. and between different ethnicity. But Africa was 1,000 times, guys, like 1,000 times much better before the European invasion. With all that European invasion and destruction, we miss 50% of the African heritage. With all that invasion and destruction, we miss 50% of what Africa could really offer to the world about glory and about power. Africa was a paradise on this earth. So Africa doesn't need help. I think Europe, yes, especially Europe, France, Belgium, Germany, and now UK is out. Anyway, UK and USA. I think is that government, all that government need help because all that government was empowered by Africa and are still powerful on pressing Africa continent like a lemon, on pressing Africa continent like a lemon since they discovered that continent. So since the 15th century and even now, they still benefit about the African continent. They still benefit about the African resources. The first resources like uranium, diamond, and also gold in Africa. All the first matière première, they still benefit on Africa. So they still on power and they still survive thanks to Africa continent. I think it's really important to educate the new generation and to educate the people in general, because the people like me are so tired to hear each time the people in Europe and UK and US or whatever, each time like identify Africa by charity, by help. And I think it's really important for the new generation to say the truth seriously. Who really benefits like some help? Who really help? Who seriously? When you study deeply the history and when you understand the political game and how everything's work, you really wonder who helped who. And I think for the new generation like me, there is nothing to feel like shame, like there is nothing to feel embarrassed about that seriously. When you hear somebody else say, oh, I was in the church, like I'm singing, like, you know, to help some African association, you know, we do some charity for Africa. Oh, I'm selling my clothes to help Africa, do charity for Africa. What? I mean, there is nothing to feel embarrassed about that, because when you know like the true game and what is like really under all that help and what is like, when you understand the political game, you know, you don't feel embarrassed about that. But I think for the new generation and for the young people especially, you know, like when you're 50, when you're 10 years old, or when you're 15, or when you're 18, you don't know who you are, you don't even know about your own history, obviously, because you live out to the continent. So it's really difficult. And also at school they don't really teach the right thing, you know, they don't really teach the right thing at school. Everything about Africa is just slavery. So when you live out to the African continent, it's really difficult, you know. You need to be very strong. So for the new generation, for the young people, it's really hard. So that's why it's so important to demystify like all that thing, you know, all that thing, and try to understand who really need help. So guys, I just want to say in August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King got a dream. He said, I have a dream. And now, in the 21st century, the African dream for Africa is Africa wish for African to be saved by African's people. That means the only help Africa needs is to be saved by African children. So Africa doesn't need all that government. Africa doesn't need all that government in Africa, because since they discovered that continent, they just bring help So guys, I'm not promoting any hate, like seriously, I'm not promoting any hate. This channel is all about empowering people, empowering the people mind. So what I'm saying is another version of the history, and it's also the true version of the history. So for all the haters, will come in my channel to try to make a dirty noise, I'm just wanna, for all the people wanna come on my channel, to make a dirty noise, don't come on my channel to make a dirty noise. Don't come on my channel, understand? Don't come on my channel to make a dirty noise. Educate yourself. Educate yourself. It's never late to educate yourself. It's never late to empower your brain. And I truly understood that Jen. I truly understand that uncomfortable truth can be really hurting, because so many people was used to hear for many years that they save the world, they helping people, they are always doing well. Obviously, so many people was empowering by their own nation. So many people was brainwashed by their own nation, that now when somebody else, and it's like it's been many years, so many people try to come out the true fact of the history, especially in Africa, that now is really hard, and it's really hard to understand. It is really hard to get and accept the truth. So for all that people, I just want to say that it's never late. Seriously, you can do your own research, online, go to take some class, like some evening classes, and really try to educate yourself about history and many things. You will see that the truth is really uncomfortable for many people now. Thank you so much, guys. If you think like Africa doesn't need help, that if you think like Africa needs to be saved only by African people, put me that in the comment and let me know in the comment what is your feeling about that subject, because really guys, feedback is extremely important. So put me that in the comment. And seriously guys, don't leave that channel without subscribe. Subscribe is absolutely free, and it also will help you to empower yourself. It will help you to stimulate your own reflection. So subscribe, click on the right button. It's absolutely free. You got a free content every Sunday, and you will really challenge your own reflection. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you really enjoy that subject. I kiss you a lot, and see you next time. Bye.